All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Thursday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, Dennis, we're bumping up against Wednesday's high and the high of the move in the pre-market, 1393.75. Are we just going to blow through that?
I don't know. We just continue to march higher. It seems like every morning, led by Apple. Apple up another $8. Seems like the simplest trade. You take it home and it goes up $8 the next morning. It seems like 4, 5, 6 days in a row it's done that. So crazy.
Okay, actually the range overnight is mirroring the range from yesterday. The Globex high 1393.75. That's 2 ticks below yesterday's high. If that today, we have a downside target of 1379. The low this in the overnight session, 1384.75, just missed Wednesday's low by a couple ticks. If that 84.75 seems more plausible at this point, we have an upside target of 1398.50. Of the close here, mid-range, 1389, 88.75. We're good to go north. ExxonMobil, the first of the Big Ten, Dennis, bumped its head up against that $87 level yesterday. Missed yet Tuesday's high by a nickel, so that 86.83, 86.93 level looming large in today's trading. The close at 86.02. We're trading down a bit, Dennis. ExxonMobil a little bit weak this morning.
Yeah, actually just an odd lot there going off. 86.09, so it is bid up a little bit here, Joel. Best offer at 86.34, so it's kind of in line with fair value. Yeah, note those two highs from the last 2 days, 86.93 and 86.83. There's some institutional selling pressure at 87. Those high-frequency guys continue to sell in front of institutional sellers. Part of their strategy is leaning on institutional sell orders. So whenever this thing gets up into the 86.80s and 86.90s, it's met with high-frequency resistance. And until it can take out the 87, expect that high-frequency resistance to remain.
Okay, and on the downside, practically matching lows here at 85.61 to 85. Our stopping point on the downside. Moving on to Apple Computer, Dennis. Everybody and their brothers upgrading it. We've seen the hit seem to stall out at 598.50 in the pre-market at $600 level. I keep doing the numbers on this thing, and it just keeps blowing them away. I imagine if you get anywhere near the former all-time high at 594.72, you'll find support, and below that at the close at 589.58. This thing is just gap and go, gap and go, gap and go.
It really is, Joel. Every single day this thing gets upgraded, it seems like, and it goes up 8 or 10 points every time it's upgraded. Today, Piper Jaffray raising their price target to 718 from 670. So that's what's driving the stock here again this morning on its march to 600. We're only $2 away from there. I'd be shocked if it didn't actually trade it. So the stock just continues to have strength. I mean, the shorts just keep getting killed in this thing. We had a 15-point pullback there yesterday, and it got it back almost by the end of the close. So the stock can't even pull back for more than a couple hours without running higher. This is eventually going to probably end ugly, but who knows where the top is. I don't want to short it, and I definitely don't want to be long it either, though.
Or was that a long-term target?
I don't know. 718. So yeah, maybe next week.
Okay. Moving on to another tech stock that's just been ripping the ball off the cover. IBM made a new all-time high yesterday at 205.15. bumping up against 205 in the pre-market. So the only relevant number we have on the upside is 205.15. Support at the close, 204.72, down to this 204.5 level. If you want to play it tight, don't want to get back any of these gains, you could get a little break below this 204.5 level.
Stock is marching here again, Joel. I always like my 2-day breakout. We broke out 2 days ago got a nice up move 2 days ago, and then yesterday we had a nice follow through move again. The stock's marching, and it's hard to get in the way of something like that. I think pullbacks are still to be bought here.
Okay, Chevron Corporation did make a new all-time high again from the 111.31 high. Got up to 112.28. Just didn't have the mustard to hold it. Pulled back, settled at 110.69. Actually, that was just off the low of the day at 110.54. So 110.54, let's call it 110.5. Good support in this, and you don't really have any major 112.28 level. The oils are rallying, Dennis, but it's the financials and the techs that seem to be a big part of this rally.
That's the real driver here in the last couple of weeks. Been the financials, it's been the tech stocks. The oils are somewhat participating, but the rallies have been somewhat muted. The stock did pull back yesterday. It made that new high, took out that 112 seller like we were talking about, and then caught a few people on the fake out. Everybody thought it was a breakout. It was really a fake out, and the stock pulled back significantly after that, settling at 110.69. I think you'll find some support in this 110 area just because it's a big psychological number. But and then your resistance, like you said, is up there at 112.28, which is the all-time high.
Okay, Microsoft continues to make new highs for the move. Topped out yesterday at the 32.88 level, closed at 32.77. I like as long as we stay above 32.70 here. I know that's pretty tight, but that's why I have support coming in above that 32.88 level. Of course, you have the whole number theory at 33. But we have been talking about this stock for a while. Of many of the stocks that have came off the 2008 cliff, or for that matter, when this stock made a high back in 2000, really hasn't even come back to taking 50% of that move up, which would be at the 35 level. So still a couple bucks away, but there really doesn't seem anything standing in the way of that move over the next couple weeks.
Well, the stock just continues to march on Apple's strength. Apple is driving the entire tech sector, and as long as Apple continues to march higher, I expect Microsoft and IBM, for that matter, to follow suit. Keep an eye on Apple if you're trading Microsoft. If Apple goes into a significant sell-off, one day it's going to. I don't know when day that's going to happen, but you can probably guess that Microsoft will have a weak day then as well. So this stock has marched just like Apple has marched. Obviously not to the extent that Apple has marched, but if you put those two charts on each other, they kind of look similar.
Okay, GE had the second day, the follow through on the big move. Made a high at 28.89 yesterday, settling at 19.79. I really like this stock. Still 19.75. I know that's awful close here, but that's what I have as support. 19.89 as the high. You got to figure it's going to chew its way here to 20. Any appreciable size in the book at 20, Dennis?
Yeah, it's starting to get littered in the 1990s all the way up to 20. So I see significant institutional selling pressure in the 20 area. 1990 to 1995, I also see some institutional sellers. So you can expect the high frequency guys start to drool when they see that kind of size. They'll probably start selling in the high 19s. So till it can get over 20, you probably don't want to own it. Once it gets over 20, then it could be in breakout mode again.
Okay, Procter & Gamble really still digesting that move from Monday. Fairly tight range in that issue yesterday once again. 67.90 to 95, Tuesdays and Wednesdays highs. That's our resistance. Backed up by the size at 68 we've been talking about. Wednesday's low did move up a little bit. Very tight range in this issue. You have to keep an eye on the 67.57, which was Tuesday's low. Can't look for a significant breakdown of the stock until we take out that level. And boy, Dennis, it keeps up itching closer to taking out that size at 68. You going to participate?
Well, if the size goes at 68, then you have a tractor beam type of play. So it would depend on how quickly that size is taken out. But there is over 600,000 shares offered there. Some at 67.95 too. That's why it topped out there yesterday. So the high frequency guys, just sound like a broken record here, they lean on that size. You're going to find that resistance probably starting from settlement all the way up until 68. So 67.85 to 68, expect high frequency resistance. Above 68, then all bets are off, and you may have a tractor beam type of play.
AT&T seems to be marching to its own drummer here. Made a new high of the move at 31.80, Dennis, but then really pulled back and ended up closing 3 cents off the low of the day. 31.42 being a low with a 31.42 close. I guess you gotta figure we are opening into support here, though. If this 31.42 does not hold, we got a little bit of a drop in here, perhaps down to the 31.18 level. Resistance moves down now to 31.56. I would not play it from the long side until it got above that level. Any reason for that late weakness in AT&T yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know, Joel. I think it was just a technical sell-off. I see at 11 o'clock it hit the 31.80, and then it sold off the rest of the session. And that's a pretty significant sell-off, 35 cents for AT&T, really on no news. So I think you had a little bit of a technical breakdown there yesterday. The old 52-week high at 31.94 definitely maybe came into play as some of those high-frequency guys maybe were leaning a little early, selling in the 31.80s. I expected resistance all the way from 31.80 all the way to $32. But a little surprising that I was sold off that quickly.
Yeah, just folks of note, Tuesday and Wednesday's low are right here, 31.42 to 44. So could have a triple bottom here, or we could be nudging back closer to the 31 level. J&J, kind of similar to AT&T, kind of weak on the close. We sniffed that 65.5 level again, getting to 65.38, 6 cents shy of Tuesday's high. Practically matching ranges in this J&J today from the last 2 days, 65.03. Tuesday's low, 65.02, Wednesday's low. Kind of leaning on the 65 again, Dennis. Do you see anything in the book? Any 65 bids to lean on?
No, I don't. So I don't know, if that's just a technical thing happening there. But I do see those two lows near the 65 area. So you could say maybe you could try long off the 65, but 65 is kind of in the middle of where the real range has been. The real range over the last 2 months has been this 64 area to the 66 area. So you're finding major high frequency resistance up in the high 65s and major high frequency support in the low 64s. So we're kind of in the middle of it right now. Maybe use the 65 if you want it for a swing number, but I'm really not interested in this stock until it gets into the low 64s or the high 65s.
Okay, Pfizer Corporation, kind of a quiet day yesterday. Did manage to make a recent high, 22.10. Still short of the high of the move at 22.17. Trading a little bit up in the pre-market. Really still trying to digest really this buck move over the last week. 22 seems to be a good swing number. Can't really get that far away from it. Below this 21.89 though, that was yesterday's low. I don't think I'd want to be long this issue, and probably a couple days of consolidation here before we either bust above this 22.17 back down to the lower 21s.
Yeah, I think a couple of days of consolidation wouldn't surprise me here. It's had a pretty decent run here over the last month, 21 to 22, pretty decent move for Pfizer, and the last couple of days up over 50 cents. So the stock does look tired. I think eventually it might take out that 52-week high at 22.17, but I don't know if it does it today. I think it might just consolidate here for a bit before making that next leg up.
Okay, S&P's still hanging out here, a buck away from the high of the day. That coincides with yesterday's high, as we mentioned. We're going to take a quick break, get our market movers together, and we'll be right back with you.